We're live?
We're live.
All right, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 360, representing TKOG. Today I'm coming at you guys with my deck profile that I took to Nats in Indiana. After strenuous testing, I did not actually end up going with Malice. I really felt like disdain from the amount of times that I bricked. And the thing that I've struggled with the most playing that deck for the longest has just been like bricking and then losing to Lancia on top and bricking. So I just wanted to play a deck that was like really consistent, and if I had to play low to the ground the entire event, I was okay with like playing a lower ceiling deck. My deck is objectively kind of almost the same type of like ceiling that Malice has as a combo deck and the combo potential of this deck. I ended up choosing Mitsurugi Ryzeal.
Joseph Donnelly, please come back to the main event stage.
So I ended up choosing Mitsurugi Ryzeal. I basically did 10 duels of Mitsu versus Malice. Malice won 3 out of those 10, and then my Mitsu deck beat them the other times. Some of them was to bricking, which is unfortunately. Then I played against Vanquish Soul. I built the Vanquish Soul deck, and then Vanquish Soul only won 1 time in testing. And then I pretty much tested against everything except Lunalight, and I never played Ryzeal in any competitive environment or format, or like at any amount of time except for like a week before this event. I was like very undecided on what deck that I wanted to play, and last minute I really just felt like Mitsu Ryzeal was just cooking every deck that I thought I wanted to play, including Sky Striker, just something I tested. So I ended up sticking with Mitsu Ryzeal because in testing it bricked the least. It just was the most consistent deck, and its ceiling is arguably just as high as Malice. That sounds crazy. I went to the main event. I ended up making day 2. I did not make top 64, unfortunately. They did give out these little packies if you made at least top 256. So I didn't end up topping the main event. After taking my loss, I hopped in a regional flight really fast, won it, so I already got my invite for this season, got that out the way. I'm not disappointed at all. Shoutouts to a couple shoutouts to Yahweh, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I stay prayed up, and I'm happy with my performance this event. I always pray before every event. And shout out to Terry, because this is pretty much his deck. Like, I don't own any Ryzeal cards. I don't plan on owning any. So shout out to T-Lu. Talk about matchups really fast before we get into it, and then I'm gonna open like my packs, because this could be really good. Round 1 I played Regenesis. I finished that 2-1. There's nothing unique about that match. Round 2 I played a mirror match. I won 2-1. I actually did something crazy. I Ouroboros looped this guy through Droll Fua. He fooed me and then drilled me in the middle of my combo. And I was like, you got 4 cards in hand? So I Ouroboros him for the last 2 cards in his hand, ended on Detonator Field Spell. Because he chained food on my ice, he got greedy. So, yep, that ended up happening. So I won that mirror 2-1. And then round 3, I played Lunalight. I 2-0'd them. I actually, specifically, game 1, it was just curtains. And then game 2, he actually took the Fua challenge, and I forget how many cards I drew. But all that mattered is that I had Salesban and Called By in my hand. So I OTK'd him through Imperm, Liger Dancer, Baguska, SP, and the Dragon Lords. That entire field, I OTK'd through all of it. All that mattered really was if he had Droll or not, because my hand was insane. It was loaded. Like, this deck just, honestly, even though I didn't do as exceptional as I wanted to do in the main event, the deck performed like the way I wanted it to perform. My losses, outside of like time and the 2 misplays, I'm not really mad at any of my losses at all. It's just variance when it comes to the game. Round 4, I ended up playing against Ryan Yu. Shout out to Ryan Yu. I didn't even know he watched the channel. He gave me my respect after. I got 2-0'd by him. Game 1, he Purulia Fluid me, and I ended on a mid board, and then he droplets me, and then full combo through my 1 Imperm. And then game 2, I took the Fua challenge because he fluid me again, and I had Harpies. That's kind of like my mindset. When I have Harpies and I have cross up, you can't nib me, so there's nothing stopping the Harpies lock, spoiler alert. So I was like, what do I lose to? I was like, cross out and cross out for Harpies or XYZ Encore. In draw phase, he XYZ Encores me, and I put up like Detonator and Field Spell and like had a face down Imperm just in case, if he actually drew that out. And he literally sided Encore and drew it, so I was like, okay, bro. So he stopped my Harpies lock, and then he drop played my Detonator and easily played through my Field Spell and Imperm. So I lost that one. That was a pretty good one. I can't be mad at it at all. Round 5, I played another mirror match. I won that 2-1. There was nothing unique about that. When there's something unique, I write in my notes. Round 6, I played another mirror. I played a lot of mirrors. I won that one 2-1. There was nothing unique about that. Actually, in both the mirrors, I actually took the Purulia challenge. One of them, I let him draw a 7. I know that some people are really scared of Mocharmies. basically like anticipating the limited number of pushes that a deck has and basically saving your interruptions for the choke points. Like if you're playing like pure Ryzeal, it doesn't matter if they draw 10 cards. They literally have Ice, X, Sword, that's it. Like, and dual drive not resolving already minimizes the amount of interaction that they can produce, which minimizes the amount of cards that you have to interact with. So I didn't actually lose any of the matches that I took the Charmies, except for round 4, and I had to, even though he had XYZ Encore, which was against Ryan Yu. And then round 9, which was the other round that I ended up losing. So after round 4, I went out all the way to round 9. So I was X1 coming into round 9. And then I got sacked by Purulia and Fualos, and I had like no non-engine at all. I drew all engine, so I had to take the challenge. I didn't have a choice. And he ended up full comboing me in the middle of my turn with like Vanquish Soul cards. It was crazy. But I won both the mirrors where I got Purulia, and one of the guys drew 7. I still won. It doesn't matter. As long as you just know what you're doing, once Cross is up, you don't have to play around Nib anymore, and that's the only card I use Cross on. Then round 7, I played against Mermel. I won that 2-0. Game 1, he Purulia, Ash, Impulse me, and then tried to droll after he Impulse, and he had Nib in hand. So that was crazy. Maybe he shouldn't have Impulsed me. I don't know. He just really didn't want me to get Mitsurugi cards out. And then round 8, I played against Rescue Ace Ryzeal. I won that 2-0. And then round 9, I just mentioned, that's where I took the Purulia Fua challenge against Vanquish Soul. Yeah, he drew 6 game 1, and he still lost, which was crazy. But then game 2, you know, I took the challenge again, and I lost. And then game 3 came down to time, and he burned me because he's playing Vanquish Soul. So that kind of sucks, but I'm not complaining about it. Time exists. It is what it is. And then round 10, I played against Malice. This is preceding the day 2. I played against Malice. I ended up losing all of my day 2 matches. So I played against Malice. My hand was Star, Node, Cross, Kusanagi, and Ghost Ogre. And I lost. And then game 2, I opened a hand that literally loses to Droll because I had one starter and it was Sword. And he had Droll and Imperm on top of it, so I lost. That's unfortunate. And then round 11 was a mirror. He literally, Purulia, Fua, ashed me and nibbed me in the same turn, and I lost game 1. Game 2, cleaned it up pretty easy. I had Harpies, didn't need to use it. And then game 3, I bricked. Super unfortunate. And then proceeding to the last round, which was round 12, it was another mirror. And this was against Pure, but I'm still calling it like a Ryzeal mirror. And basically this guy... Game 1, I opened Imperm, Droll, Node, I kept drawing Cross Node, it was crazy. So I opened Imperm, Droll, Node, Cross, and then I top decked a Saji, which wasn't going to get me anywhere. And he, like, it didn't matter. And then game 2, I won. He had actually, it was crazy. He had Ash, Valor, Fua, Imperm. I full combo through that and still won. And then game 3, I opened no hand traps and he Ouroboros looped me. So you guys can kind of see the trend of, like, how I actually lost, like, I did make 2 misplays, which against Malice, one of them was not summoning my guys in defense to play around Red Ransom. And then another misplay that I made was chaining a Droll to my Droll to turn off, to play around Cross when I had a weak hand, and I should have just let my opponent commit to Fua and give me 2 more draws, because I just needed 1 more engine to win the game. And so those were 2 misplays. I'm not really complaining. And then the regionals flight, it was just, you have to win to win that. So I went undefeated. I played Feats with Ryzeal, Mitsu, and then 2 mirrors, and I won them all. How are we doing on time so far?
8:30.
Okay, so that's the tournament report. Let's get into the list. So, arguably the best card in my deck. I played 3 Dododo Warrior. My list had Prosperity and another Tachyon in it. So I cut like the Tachyon down to 1 just so I can always search Lancea in my combo. And I swapped those cards for this card. This card actually auto plays her on Droll a lot cleaner. It doesn't play into Droll at all until you resolve the duo. It's also like a free Exiton going second to push, or it just gets you to Mitsu cards. Like, it just depends on what hand trap you're fishing for. But you can beat Droll and Nib with just a Dododo. You just search Ice and Node, summon the Ice, summon the Star, set Cross, flip Cross. They Nib you because they have to, otherwise they won't be able to. And you're still in the Droll, and you just summon Node, bring back a guy, and make Detonator Field Spell through Nib Droll with just 1 card. Pretty insane. Card's nutty. Was nutty the whole entire event. The actual best card in my deck. This card's just disgusting, bro. I'm not even a huge Ryzeal fan. I hate this card. I hate it, love it. 2 Ice, 2 Sword. I played heavier Ryzeal cards because, like, the premise of the Ryzeal cards is, like, they let your Mitsurugi engine play for free, but the Mitsurugi engine does not let your Ryzeal cards play for free. And, like, that's kind of like the idea is, like, you take any challenge that they put on you with the Mocharmies as long as you can get to Cross. So if you got to Cross, it doesn't matter what hand traps they have. you're essentially after that point, you're just putting up your board and you're only using your interactions on the choke point. So the Ryzeal cards help to just push through the maximum amount of hand traps. And where these cards are weaker in the Prulia, like that's where the Mitsu cards are better in the Prulia. Both my engines kind of are weaker in the Fua, but like I never really lost any challenges again, except for getting sacked by you, but that's okay. So I did play a heavier engine, and I actually agree with this more than like the pre-prep builds that play more bricks as well. And I played one Tachyon and one Bonfire. So these are like all my starters for like the Ryzeal portion of my deck. So there's 11 so far. And then the engine requirements, this does require another brick. It's still a normal summonable 11-4, but you essentially put the brick in so that your deck is cleaner into the only card you lose to. You identify what you lose to and play around it. That's the name of the game. And then one node and one star. These are like terrible draws. I unfortunately drew node a lot, and I drew cross a lot going second. Going first, I wish I would have drew. I drew it way more going second. It was just crazy. As far as dice rolls, I won 5 and then I lost 7, so it wasn't that crazy. And then 3 Haba. This card's nuts. I'm gonna talk a little bit about how you beat Impulse with this. This is something I learned 2 hours into playing this deck. I learned how to auto beat an Impulse because I was testing against my Malice deck. And I'll show you guys that in a second. Nobody knows this, so like, you know, shout me out, my guy, when I show you this, because this is crazy. But we're gonna go 3 prayers, 1 Armasa, 1 Saji, 1 Kusa, ritual, and then the brick. Really fast, I'm just gonna show you simple how Haba beats Impulse. So you go Haba, you summon Saji, tribute Saji. Most people are gonna add ritual and lose to Impulse. What you do here is you actually add prayers. And I did this a lot, like when in simplified game states, when I know I'm playing against Malice, and like, what do I lose to an Impulse? You play around Impulse. Identify what you lose to, play around it. Then you go prayers, tribute this guy. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna add to your hand and summon Armasa, and then go 1 Haba, 2 Armasa, and then Haba's gonna add ritual. Armasa is gonna add Kusanagi. And then what you do is you go activate ritual, and what you're gonna do is attempt to summon from deck. They're gonna impulse that because that literally puts out the Murakumo. And then you normal summon the Kusanagi and you target this, add it from grave to hand, and then this is full combo right here. You just make your duo drive. So if they have an imperm, they'll imperm the duo drive. So essentially with 1 Haba, you traded with 2 imperms and you have still the ritual in hand. So if you have another way to like make a feral imps or anything like that, you could still ritual summon the Murakumo from hand. So like 1 Haba literally beats an imperm and an impulse by itself. Nobody knows that. I've never seen anyone do it the whole event. So that was like one of my advantages, is just like testing. Your own testing, not like buying spreadsheets and hope you win. Like, do your own testing. So yeah, that combo is crazy. I only had to do it twice yesterday, but like literally nobody ever saw that coming. So then for non-engine, 3 copies of Fua, 2 Perilia, 3 Droll. This is kind of high-key the best card of this format, but it sucks like against Malice. Like high-key, all of these cards I think are trash against Malice, as well as Ash. So because of that, I had to put in cards that were better into the Malice matchup, because I still respect the deck. It's kind of like my main low-key. And then I played 3 Imperms, 2 Ogres, and 1 Nib. I didn't want to play any more than 1 Nib. I don't play like Gallon Granite to search it. I just needed it in my list because people are taking challenges. These cards are better into Malice, and like opening a Nib trades better into the Malice matchup. Like if you have Nib Ash, you can actually just Nib them, and then you can Ash the backup. Because when they've already gone through the Splash Mage, that's like a clean way to nib them. Ash the backup, and then they just end on nothing. Another good way to interact with them on nib is like when they MTP, banish the red ransom, summon Chessie, nib them there. They've already gone through Splash Mage, and then you stop the draw too. And if they have an extender, it's fine. Their board's not going to be that crazy. So nib's still good against that deck. It's just bad against Vanquish Soul. It's not that great against Lunalight, and it's terrible in the mirror match as well. So I decided at 1. Ogre is really crazy. This was like a last-minute addition. I thought it was going to give me a better Malice matchup, and it's really strong against Luna. By the time that they even could have played around it, it's too late. So when you Ogre their Wolf, there's like no counterplay. They're not getting out the Liger. They have to like draw such a specific hand. They basically have to be able to like reborn Luna and then fuse off the Black Sheep to add the Wolf back from extra deck to hand. So it's just crazy. It's weaker going second because they have like Lunalight Fusion as a secondary way to make Liger, but yeah. This card by itself, honestly, High-key is just crazy against Lunalight. It's still good in the mirror. It's good against Vanquish Soul. It hits a field spell that cuts off an attribute and the trap. So their board is pretty much, it's free. Because you're not losing to 2 pops playing Ryzeal. You're just never not. And then cross out Callby. I didn't main talents for this event. I cut it for another hand trap. I just felt like maining breakers in a format where people go Ouroboros Loop You was terrible. So I only wanted to play these because they specifically beat Droll, and that's the only card that I'm worried about. For extra deck, 2 Duo Drive, These are all enablers, one Feral Imps, one Igniter. I think any list that doesn't play this is totally incorrect. I've won so many games like getting hand trapped on my Mitsurugi portion of my deck and using the Ryzeal cards to just get back into the Mitsurugi cards. And like with cross up, like you're just in there, and that's like one of the easiest ways to just go for a game. So these two just go hand in hand. When you get impulsed and you have the hand that beats it, you want your normal summon to be ice, like search the Ame, ritual summon the Ame by search the Murakumo, ritual summon the Murakumo by tributing the Haba that you already had in hand. Really crazy. And then Dugaris MVP, most used effect is probably going to be the Reborn next to the doubling the attack. The draw 2, I don't really use it that much. This is like my Gallant Granite. I didn't draw. MVP definitely was doubling the attack for Eclipse Twins and then having it swing over. That like kills Malice. It's crazy. Very good card. Eclipse Twins, another enabler. In combos where like you're playing under Prulia, you do dump this over X and don't respect Nib as much, so that your Detonator can have more mats. Because in the mirror match, like your priority in the mirror is to have cross up with a Detonator with an Eclipse Twins under it. That respects X the most, because essentially what you don't want to do is you don't want to have to use your cross to negate Aggregator. You want your cross to actually check the Mitsu portion of their deck, because that's the part of their deck that does not lose to Detonator. So Detonator keeps all the 4 bodies off of the Ryzeal aspect of the engine, and the cross you're specifically using on like if they hard drew engine and they like activate Ami chain block during res, you just during res negate the Murakumo, and then the board doesn't get wiped and they have to find another way to play. And so by doing that, you can respect Aggregator more by just like Detonator popping itself. Most people still try and target cross with the Aggregator, which I respect. If they target the cross with the Aggregator, it's different. But a lot of people do like targeting your Detonator and just it's less materials. So card's crazy. One Detonator. Hate this card. It's so good against Malice. I hate this card. Playing Malice and like playing this deck now, it's just crazy. Baguska, this slaughters Vanquish Soul and Lunalights. Vanquish Soul can like 3-card combo out this. Good luck playing with 2 cards after that. Exiton, I only resolved this once. I did win, so it was nice. Castel, this is, you know, degenerate. Ouroboros, degenerate. Never made the card. You just reveal it. This, I used to play Titanic. I don't play it anymore. It has not came out. Imperm and Nib are like really not that popular. After playing this event, I have a lot of adjustments. The side, this card was better than Aggregator. Honestly, this card is just nuts. Like, especially in mirrors, like when they are greedy and they try to droll me, and so then when I X target the prayers pop, like I force the prayers out, they don't get follow-up, and they basically get a fake board wipe that outs 1 card. So this card's just broken. And then Aggregator. Side deck, pretty sauce. 2 Cells Band. This goes in almost every matchup. Most of the time, I'm just calling Droll. Like, it's the only card that really matters, especially post-siding when they're taking Charming challenges. Your hand's going to be loaded with Engine. So this is the like literal definition of identify what you lose to and play around it. You call whatever you feel your hand is weak into. I called Crow against Vanquish, so I was like, what do I lose to? A Crow on my Ritual spell right now. So there's nothing bad about the card. Against Vanquish Soul, you could call their trap, like first action. Their cards can't be destroyed, but you don't play through the board wipe. You can call Holy Suit. It just really depends what you want to play around. You side this always against Malice because you're calling White Binder. They have hair in hand. You just call White Binder, and so like now it just doesn't even matter. Like their board is trash now. So this card's crazy. You never call like I actually, it's kind of cookage, but I actually went Cells Ban, call White Binder. No, I'm sorry, I'm lying. He didn't have the White Rabbit yet. He didn't have the March Hare in hand. He didn't MTP in draw phase. So I actually went Cells Ban called March Hare because he could chain MTP at it. Doesn't matter. And then I X-Dumped Aggregator to turn off his Bomber. And then all he had left was Malice in the Mirror and Imperm, and I just played through it. This card's pretty crazy. There's no application where it's bad. And it FTKs the Lunalight matchup. You just call Liger Dancer, and their board just doesn't matter. X, dump Aggregator, you know, like turn off Baguska. You don't lose to an SP. Card's just crazy. Talents, it's only going first and going second in certain matchup. In mirror matches, if they're on Ouroboros, I don't side this card in. I only side reactive cards that like can prevent the board, or proactive cards. And then Duster, this card's crazy. I literally hit freaking cross out, double strike Imperm with this card, and then X negated Baguska, just cook it.
Can I have Ruben Penaranda up to the main event stage, please? Ruben Penaranda up to the main event stage.
Oh, nice. I know that guy. 3 Lancia. I only had to side it once. Actually, no, I'm lying. I sided against Mermel. So if they went pitch 2 to try and look at my hand, I could shade Lancia. It didn't even come up. Yeah, I sided it against Malice as well. 2 copies of Meows. I actually felt like this was kind of clean in the Lunalight. I know a lot of YouTubers actually do gatekeep, and like they tell you that certain interactions are bad or certain cards are bad because they don't want you to play it, and then they tell you play this deck. Like people say like, oh, Vanquish Soul is better than, you know, Malice and Ryzeal. That's the scariest deck because they want you to play Vanquish Soul. They want you to be a free win. And everybody that I've studied says Meows is bad into Lunalight. I'm here to tell you that this card is minimum drawing 2 before they can even think about playing around it. Like, the card's absurd. This is it's Perulia that I think they play around the cleanest. But just understand that if you play against Lunalight, they're taking every challenge. Like, they're not going to stop because they just don't think you can out their Liger. So, yeah, this card's actually insane. And then the extra Perulia, I didn't want to main 3. I play 45 main. This card won me so many games. I took every challenge. Cross up, you can't nib me, make a Castel. I'm sorry, I didn't win every game. I lost that one time, XYZ on-card. Right, shout out to Ryan Yu. But yeah, it's absolutely absurd. I know some people think Judgment's better. I didn't really draw any hands where like I couldn't make a rank 4 with follow-up. So I guess I was just lucky. So everybody's experience is different. You could say Judgment's better, but I think in the mirror match, your Judgment is not a real card because X just outs it. So I still think objectively this is a better card. Nuts, Search and Lancia. And yeah, what's the timer?
21.
21. Nice. So I gotta save the best for last. I'm just gonna open my packs and then we'll just call it a day. But yeah, the list was fun. I don't think I'm gonna play this moving forward. I just felt like it was the best deck for this event, and I'm not gonna lie, there's Mitsurugi freaking everywhere, so it's crazy. I'm looking for my Starlight. But moving forward, I definitely think I would play a different deck. It just depends. If the ban list doesn't touch this deck, I wouldn't mind revisiting Mitsurugi on my own. But yeah, Malice, sorry guys, I just don't think Malice is like that crazy right now. And this is like coming from an avid Malice player, honestly. Let me see here. Last one. Dang, I should have sold the packs to that guy for 10. Got some bread out of it. And then drum roll, please. Okay, I have to be very cautious. I'll tell you what, here's what we'll do. Bite the corner, open it from the back. I don't want to like tear the card or damage it or anything. Yeesh. Dang, I'm having some troubles here. Okay, there we go. All right. Why is this so hard to open? Here we go. We're getting there. It looks like a pot of desires. And it looks like a common as well. Oh man. World Championship qualifier on the art. Yeah, we hard negged. We could have made 35 bucks instead of open these. Hey, but I did it for y'all, man. So shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for future content. I am gonna be uploading soon with like my current deck of the format because this is just like for this event. Thank you guys so much for watching. Deuces as well.